What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 3 of my F1 23 driver career series for the British feature race here in the Formula 2 Championship. If you guys did miss the first episodes, make sure to go check those ones out before you see this one. There'll be a link to the playlist in the top right hand corner of your screen now. It's been an exciting series so far, so hope you stick around. Make sure to get subscribed for more regular F1 23 content. So, after the last race then, the Drivers' Championship sits tied after 2 rounds. Myself and Felipe Drugovich tied with 30 points each at the top of the championship, 5 points covering the top number of drivers at the top of the standings here. So looking to try and take the win today, to try and break that tie as best we can. And the main opportunity today to win is that it is our home circuit here at Silverstone. So looking to take the win today in front of the home fans on the weekend of the British Grand Prix. So looking into the strategy for the race itself, lining up from P7 on the grid, 1 place lower than we were in Saudi Arabia. Hard tyres to start things off, and then soft tyres to the finish line. So we shouldn't see any issues for the race today. And lining up now on the formation lap. Again, looking to win this one as our first home race of the series. I'm sure there'll be many more as the series progresses, so make sure to stick around for that. But looking to win in Formula 2. Of course, we did Formula 2 back in F1 2021, went to Silverstone, couldn't quite get the job done in either the feature or the sprint race. We've got one shot at this to win in F2 at Silverstone. So the last few cars take their places now on the grid for the start of what should be a very exciting British feature race. Lights coming on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third round of the Formula 2 Championship in 2022. Headers lights up, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Dream start that over for sure. And Porsche across the line, so Dream gets away from the 4th row. Going into Abbey at turn 1. Vips, Iwasa, Drugovich all in front. We're going to try and make a gutsy here. Around the outside of this contact, we hit Drugovich and off onto the grass there. Very careful not to spin out there. Warning for a collision. Fair enough there. Deruvalo away in the lead. Iwasa second, Vips now second, Iwasa now third. We're trying to take 4th away from Drugovich. We've gone way too wide there through the loop, and now making their way down towards the Wellington straight for the first time today. We've got to see Williams to make a move there. Drugovich on our inside. Go around him, now onto the straight we come. And I'm still in second place in the Drivers' Championship. We're in front of Drugovich though, which means that Deruvalo most likely has it. So we need to close up to him as best we can. Vips in now second, Iwasa in 3rd place. We sit by ourselves in 4th. So decent getaway there from 7th place. Three spots gained early on this first sector or so. So we're try and push forward as best we can here. On to number 2 of the race. We're trying to close on both Vips and Iwasa as Deruvalo continues to pull away. But those guys staying hooked as close as they can to the back of that framing machine, and we're still sitting here in 4th, but within that 1 second range right now. That's where we need to be in order to get DRS in a lapse time. So we'll try and stay as close as we can to these two in order to get that advantage and try and close in as much as we can in order to try and take away those positions and get a bit closer to the lead and the top of the Drivers' Championship. Make our way down towards Copse. Still trying to get Copse right, but we nailed it just about this time. I'm still a bit faster on the exit, but we made it stick. Just about, so hanging on to P4 and Porsche behind us in 5th. But the fastest lap here is in lap number 2. We'll start lap 3 now. DRS forward for the first time in this race. Looking to try and use it to close in as much as we can here on both Vips and Iwasa, who are still sitting there about a second or so in front of us. Let's try and close as much as we can here in order to really make that advantage stick. But we've got a purple sector 1 there, so a very good start for the lap to try and continue out as time goes by. On to number 4, then Drugovich sets passes up the race. We're still sitting in 2nd place in the standings, looking to try and close down still. These guys have really gotten away from us here, and we're falling under pressure to perhaps not be getting DRS this time round. Yellow flag in the back there, not quite sure who that is. Looks like we're one of the Carling cars, which would be unfortunate for him to retire so early on in the race. I'm hoping it's not Liam Lawson. We did a great battle with him in Saudi Arabia last time out, which is very exciting to see. It's going to be a shame if he was to go out this early on. Let's make our way down the DRS straight once again onto the Wellington straight, pushing towards Brooklyn as we go. And there goes Iwasa to the inside of Vips and trying to take 2nd place away. Going into the left-hander, Deruvalo pulls away even further now. Iwasa forces Vips out. The high tech now in front of us. Logan Sargent is at the session. We've got to focus on ourselves for the time being here and try and get Vips on the exit if we can. Vips going slightly wider on exit and take the advantage. Get on the inside and slide through into P3 and up onto the podium for the first time today. That's a look at what happened to Sargent though. Very unfortunate to be out this early on in the race. It's not been a brilliant start to the season for him so far. He's been really struggling in that Carlin machine as the smoke comes pouring out of it there. And there you go, another retirement to add to the list of the first couple from the opening race. Ralph Boschung in Bahrain and Teo Porsche last time out in Saudi Arabia. And looks like Logan Sargent's the next car to be added onto that list. So that's to pull the car over here in front of the British fans. And the race that's it, it's over for him. First retiree, we're down to 21 cars now in this feature race. So hopefully we don't lose any more as time goes by. So we're into 3rd place though. And working to try and get into the 2nd spot on closing Iwasa using the DRS once again. I'll pitch the information here, pitting a couple of laps time onto the soft tyres, and those get us to the end of the Grand Prix. Purple sector 1, once again, haven't been able to nail the lap as a whole here. The sector 1 is definitely where we're fastest thanks to the DRS. We are closing Iwasa regardless, and Deruvalo not too far ahead either, 2.5 seconds in front. pushing on to lap number 6 now. Yellow flag once again. That's behind us in sector 3. Not quite sure who that is this time. Looks like perhaps the other Carlin. But then this one might be Liam Lawson as well. So it looks like both Carlins going to go out of the race here. I see the dark blue dot that's pulling over to the side of the track. I had to wait for the confirmation here. At the top of the screen, pushing towards the last couple of corners. It is Liam Lawson who's out of the session. So both Carlins out of the feature race here at Silverstone. Very unfortunate to pick up no points here today. So Lawson going along there happy as Larry makes his way towards Magnussen Beckett for the 6th time of this race, and was waiting for the engine just to go on him, and there it is. Big puff of smoke there covering the view of our teammate Marino Sato just behind. He has to pull the car over, but chooses not to pull it over. He keeps it on the track then, holds up a number of cars there, so, which includes, I believe that includes Jerry Vips, or maybe Marcus Armstrong, one of the high-tech cars. So he pulls the car over there, and that's race over for him and for Carlin as a whole here. So pushing on to the start lap number 8 here, reached the halfway stage of the race here, and closing as close as we've been to Iwasa throughout this feature race, and Daruva 1.6 up the road, so we're closing without doubt here, boys. We are on the lap now. We have to pit to make our first and only stop of this feature race. We have to see if we can try and nab second before we go into the pit lane. So that could help us massively in terms of track position when we come back out the pits. So closing on Iwasa here, as I say, close as we've been to him for these entire 8 laps so far. We're going to use DRS to try and get as close as we can to him and try and close him to Daruva 2. We're definitely getting closer and closer as time goes by. So I say if we would stay out, we're only a lap or two away from perhaps even trying to nab the lead off of the Primo in front, but we're closing on the Iwasa, but it's not enough yet. Still about 3 tenths back, 3 or 4 as it stands to go through Brooklands and then Luffield. So making our way down into the pit lane here for our first and final stop of the feature race. Going onto the soft tyres, and those will take us to the end of the race here. Dragovic coming in just behind us there as we make our way in, because Dragovic has the fastest lap, and we are still racing him. We are dead tied with him in the Drivers' Championship, so we are racing to get in front. In we coming out into our pit box for the Virtuosi team. Optimal turning is expected. In we go now, and making our way in, put those hard tyres on. Of course, slower pit stop in F2. Dragovic goes charging on through, holding the clutch, and then releasing it to make our way through. But again, I'm still kind of poor at that. So I'm still getting used to using that. Out in front of Dragovic, he's got held up by Vashore there. So the Trident car has massively helped us here. So Dragovic a bit further away now than he was when we came in. 4.1 second stop, and down the very long pit lane here at Silverstone. Now it's crucial we have a good outlap here in order to get out preferably in front of both Daruvla and out in front of Iwasa too. It's possible if we get a good enough exit out of the pit lane and a good enough opening lap that it could happen theoretically. We could try and snatch the lead here with just 6 more laps to go in this thing. So to come towards the end of lap number 9, start lap 10, the rest of the pack now in the pit lane. We'll see where these guys come out on the exit, making our way to the last couple of corners and into the club corner, and now down back onto the Hamilton Straight for the 10th time in this Grand Prix to make our way towards the pit exit where Daruvla and Iwasa are both waiting to exit, making their way out the pit lane here, charging towards the next couple of corners. And now we're appearing on the left hand side of Daruvla. They're trying to go around the outside of him, going into the next couple of corners, into the next complex of lefts and rights, and on the exit, pulling clear side by side now into the corner. We are back in front, and we are into the lead for the first time at Silverstone, for the first time in Formula 2. So we're on course here to take a shot home win if we can hold off these guys in the late stage of this race. Daruvla now second, Iwasa third, Dragovic 2.2 back from us in 4th place. So it's a 3-car race right now, but that could change depending on how quick the cars behind us are. Daruvla goes for his first attack on the outside, making our way into the last couple of corners on the circuit. We're trying to keep him behind as best we can. He falls back into line there. We hold on to the lead with just 5 more laps left to go in this thing. Long way to go given where we are in the stands. Coming towards Copse. Now Daruvla here making this move, which is quite intimidating. Going towards Copse, closing in all the time, but not going for it. You can see him in the mirrors. He goes a bit lower on the line than we do. It might be our line compared to his, but it still doesn't look too good. It's bad omen perhaps. Let's make our way towards lap number 13 now. Just 2.5 more laps to go in this thing. Daruvla is closing in all the time to make our way down into Brooklands and then Luffield once again. We're looking to try and take the lead however we can. As through the right hander we come here, still showing the way, running the same sort of line as they are, but a poor exit here. We've gone way wide off into the gravel there, and there goes Daruvla seizing his chance, going to the inside and taking the race lead away with just 2.5 laps to go. We've got to try and get him back before Iwasa tries to take us to. Going towards Copse, he might look to the inside if he gets enough for a run, but he's not. We're going a bit too wide there, and he's taking the opportunity at the inside. We throw the hand out in frustration. We've got to get back around Daruvla here, going towards the last couple of corners. They'll try and get him on the inside, going into this next left-hander. We'll go as late on the brakes as we can here and move inside or the outside for the right-hander. And now coming off the corner, we'll get the better drive off and into the last corner on the circuit. We'll go around his outside, keep it on the circuit only just, and move back into the lead here, but it's not over yet at all here. Still plenty of time for Daruvla to come back at us here. We go back in the gravel. That could be it. That could be race over, and our chance to win completely done and dusted. Cordeel's into 5th place now. I don't know where he's come from. He's making moves now. He's got the fastest lap of the race too. A lap and a half to go here onto lap number 14, And here comes Daruvula again to make a move on us on the inside, similar to how Iwasa did a lap ago. We've gone wide of the circuit, so he needs to get into us here. And the soft tires might not hold out much longer as we push further on now, charging towards Stowe to defend the inside from both Daruvula and Iwasa, who might try and go for us on the outside, going into the right-hander. They've got the worst line going in onto the grass a bit there. We've managed to keep it in front of them, regardless. We're a lap away here from our first win in Formula 2. As long as we can hold these guys off for just one more lap as we push on to that last lap, going towards Cox again for the final time here. A win in Formula 2 at home, no less, is all that's left for us to try and claim here in this last sector or two. Daruvula on our inside, they're going towards Magnussen Beckett. He falls back into line though, and that might be the end of the matter, but he's still got a run down the hanger straight and down through Stowe to go. So it could still happen for him in his last couple of corners. Into Magnussen Beckett we go for the final time, and off the corner we come. PRS deployed for Daruvula. He's got one final chance to try and get us here. Down towards Stowe for the final time. He's closing, but it's not going to be enough for him here to try and go for a move. He's a go for it. He's closing in as much as he can. Won't go to the inside. He's not close enough to throw it all in like we did to him last time out in Jeddah. Looks like this is our race to win here. We come towards the last couple of corners. The home fans on their feet here at Silverstone. Into the final couple of corners we go, and looking for the checker flag to come falling our way. Into the right handle we go for the last time. We didn't do it in F1 2021, but 2 years later on F1 23, going to take a home win at Silverstone in Formula 2. Get in! Really fantastic race. I could not imagine a better way to get our first win of the season and in F2 and of the series, no less. And Mark is very pleased with us there, and a driver of the day for a performance as well. So all in all, a very successful outing.
That's it for another race and a fantastic win for Virtuosi. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
And Davide's choosing not to speak, so I'll speak for him. I think the thing that sealed the win for us today was probably the strategy, if I'm being entirely honest. The decision to pit a lap earlier than those guys in front of us that really paid off in the end, and that's what got us the win. Got us in front of Daruvula and Iwasa, and that's what got us the victory today.
Here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Virtuosi then are on top today.
So there you have it then, winners for the first time in F2, winners for Virtuosi and winners at Silverstone no less. The celebrations begin, and it also means the outright lead in the Drivers' Championship. Not sure by how much because I don't know who's in second, but it's a good omen with 5 more rounds to go. It looks like we're in really good stead to have a real shot at this championship after a brilliant first couple of results so far this season. And we'll let celebrations begin with these guys also with us on the podium after a fantastic race here at Silverstone.
Cohen takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Cohen.
On to the teams then. Another team that excelled today was Dams, who make further progress up the table. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
So a full 25 points and heading our way for the win here in the British feature race. Daruvula home in second place, Iwasa in third in the end. Drogovic finishes in fourth. Amaury Cordial finishes fifth from ninth on the grid. And it's Pourchaire, Williams, Verschoor, Sato and Dennis Hauger taking another point in 10th place. So all in all, very successful home race, and definitely our first time out in Silverstone in the United Kingdom. Definitely doing us well. And there it is, the lead in the Drivers' Championship by 13 over Drogovic. Daruvula now in third, Williams fourth, and Hauger down to fifth place there. So after that win in Bahrain, not doing too well since then. I believe this is his first point, and he didn't score last time out in Saudi Arabia. We'll have a look at the constructors' standings as well as he looks to maintain this lead in the Drivers' Championship over the rest of the season. And we are now just 4 points back from Prema. We've gotten around Trident here, so it's all still to play for with 5 rounds to go. Plenty of racing still to come. I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you can probably tell why. This Drivers' Championship lead will be what we look to maintain in the coming rounds. So once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more regular Formula 1 content. And until my next video, guys, I shall see you then. Have a good day, and goodbye.